Alright everyone, we're going to start this video with a mental exercise. We're going to drift back in time. It's July 3rd, 2007. You're in your parents' car as you listen to Sean Kingston's Beautiful Girls for the 8th time in a row. You're pumped as hell because you're on your way to see the new Transformers movie that's premiering tonight. You sit down in your seat with a bag of popcorn bigger than your head, ready for the trailers to finish up so you can watch giant robots beat the shit out of each other. And then you see this.
He's here. Let's go.
It's for Rob. Say something to him before he leaves.
Rob's awesome. I'm gonna miss it.
Hey, how am I gonna survive without you?
I don't know, I'm like your main dude.
Phone calls are pouring into the New York One newsroom as a thunderous, roaring sound.
Do you see something on the roof?
Looks like you should have left town a little bit earlier.
What is it? Is it coming this way? I saw it. It's alive. It's huge.
No, you don't get to just move on, okay? What the hell was that? What just happened? Who's out here vandalizing French sculptures? Oh yeah, what was the name of the movie? You assaulted my eyes with the decapitation of Lady Liberty, gave me a random-ass date, said bye, and now I have to sit through 2 hours and 24 minutes of explosion porn featuring Megan Fox, and that somehow I don't care? While visiting Japan for the promotion of his upcoming movie Mission Impossible 3, J.J. Abrams went to visit some nearby toy shops and was stunned to see how much adoration there was for Godzilla. It dawned on him that other than King Kong, which hadn't really been as prevalent in media at the time, there was really nothing like Godzilla for American audiences. This is also around the time that JJ was creating projects that emphasized his mystery box style of writing, essentially productions that focused on the unraveling of secrets that all weave together to create a cohesive story. One of the most well-known examples of this, of course, is his TV show Lost. And so, with the help of writer Drew Goddard and director Matt Reeves, they got to work on Cloverfield. Cloverfield was a low-budget found-footage film depicting the invasion of a mysterious monster overtaking New York from the perspective of a small group of friends. While the film absolutely crushed it in the box office for January of 2008, raking in $172.4 million in comparison to its measly $25 million budget, the reception for Cloverfield ranged from very positive to so bad they literally couldn't stomach it, as some audience members had a rough time sitting through the movie due to its intense camera shaking scenes. It even got to the point that theaters had to start posting disclaimers at their theaters to warn people of any potential nausea. This is all to say that even after its payday at the box office, you could argue that Cloverfield ultimately achieved only cult status. Sure, it spawned a really solid spin-off sequel with 10 Cloverfield Lane, and yeah, we don't talk about that last one. Other than that, I think you'd be hard-pressed to find anyone who would put that movie in their top 10. Unless you asked me. Cloverfield to this day is one of my favorite films of all time, and when I say this to people, they usually look at me like I'm crazy. That's when I usually ask, well, did you participate in the ARG? And the resounding response is typically, the what? An ARG, or alternate reality game, is an interactive puzzle-style series of events based around a piece of fictional media that incorporates real-life elements to immerse players in the experience. Essentially, you create an interactive element with the audience that blurs the line between what's fictional and what's real. So while you could absolutely watch Cloverfield on its own as a movie and enjoy it, the film becomes 10 times more interesting when you notice all of the background narrative that's happening during the film, none of which is noticeable unless you participated in the film's ARG. Y'all need to understand something. This ARG from July 2007 to January 2008 had me in an absolute chokehold. I spent the tail end of summer obsessing over it, and when I went back to school, I'd come home, do my homework, and then spend the rest of the night still obsessing. Okay, it was a problem. This time in my life is a core memory, and I wish I could share all of the excitement I felt experiencing this for the first time 16 years ago, but this is the next best thing I could think of. What I'd like to do is not only break down the Cloverfield ARG for you in depth, but also show you how the ARG ties directly into the film itself. I've spent the past several months collecting every bit of information I could about the ARG, and it's a lot, so get comfy, grab some popcorn of your own, because in order to dive into this, we need to go back. Back to that first trailer from July 3rd, 2007. So, if you were like me, one of the main things you would notice about this trailer is that there was no title for the movie anywhere. Correct me if I'm wrong here, but I'm pretty sure this is one of the first and possibly only times that a studio has ever done something like this. It was risky as hell, but it paid off because everyone was talking about this trailer when it released, clamoring to learn any little nugget they could about what the film was. The only real piece of tangible info we had was seemingly the date at the end of it, 1/1808. Many big-brain viewers came up with the idea to see if there was a website associated with the date, and lo and behold, at 11808.com, we were greeted by photographs.
Look at this photograph!
Yes, this cryptic as fuck website just had a couple of photograph stills from the movie, and that was it. Now, fair warning, do not try to go to this website today unless you want some malware on your PC. That goes for most of these websites that I'm going to mention. If you want to check this stuff out yourself, absolutely use the Wayback Machine over at archive.org. This minimalist approach to giving moviegoers info about what this film was set people into a frenzy, overanalyzing every little detail they could to the point that people started seeing and hearing stuff that wasn't there. I'm talking Jesus in the toast type shit. Some people thought that they were seeing a demon in this first photo right here. And one popular theory at the time was that this was a Voltron movie because of a line in the trailer. Instead of people hearing,
I saw it, it's alive, it's huge!
what they actually heard was,
I saw it, it's alive, it's huge!
sadly, a live-action Voltron movie was not in the cards, but goddamn, I'd pay good money to see that one. Other than those two photos, though, that was all there was for the 11808 website. However, after some very thorough digging, info hunters trying to learn more about the film discovered that the film had a code name, Cloverfield. Believe it or not, this wasn't always the film's official title. The name spread like wildfire and eventually stuck with the masses to the point that they had no choice but to name it Cloverfield. But there were other code names as well for the film, such as Cheese, Chocolate Outrage, Slusho, Slusho? Why does that sound familiar?
As a thunderous roaring sound.
Oh, will you look at that? While Slusho's name appears on the shirt of one of the characters in the trailer, Slusho is a beverage brand that JJ likes to use for TV shows that he produces. It first appeared on the second episode of the JJ produced show Alias, and has continued to appear in various other projects that he's been a part of. While it's always been more of a background bit of advertising in other projects,
And,
Gotta try the slusho, it's good.
the slush mix, thank you.
Slusho is thrown front and center here because 3 days after discovering the 11808 site, someone manages to discover slusho.jp. There's not much to the website for now, with most of the sections unavailable, but it's got a bangin' menu page song. We'll keep an eye on this one as time goes on, but for now, that's about it. Another 3 days pass, and back on the 11808 site, we get a new photo, and we've made it to Silent Hill! Okay, so there's not a whole lot going on here, but we can tell, based on the timestamp, that this takes place 47 minutes after shots have been poured. Things start to slow down a tad as a little over a week passes, and the only thing new that we get is a fourth photo taken 36 minutes after the Silent Hill-esque image. Not much to talk about here, so we'll move on. On July 27th, people began to notice that the Slusho website had been updated. Over on that website, we see that the flavors page is now viewable, with a bunch of charming robots representing themselves as different delicious flavors. We've got Blueberry Zoom, Chocolate Rage, JJ you cheeky bastard, Mikan, Nashi, Banana Anime, and Strawberry Tasty. It's honestly really neat. You can mix whatever flavors you want, and it makes this really cool mech based on which flavors you choose. The most important thing to notice about this page, though, is the description at the top. Become like the master Noriko and Ganu. The beginning of each slusho is the deep sea ingredient. And you can see here that this deep sea ingredient is represented as this lotus-type flower. I want you to keep this in the back of your mind, as this is going to lead into arguably one of the most important pieces of the puzzle of this whole narrative. We can also see that the store page is open as well, and people could actually buy Slusho merchandise from the shop. Now, you may be asking yourself, Eric, why are you talking to me about a merch shop for a website that doesn't exist anymore? I promise there's a reason. We'll get there. For now, just know that it's a thing you can do. Now, the final thing to mention about this website for now is that there's also a history page that's viewable about the origins of Slusho. Here we learn that Noriko Yoshida was obsessed with drinking beverages and experimenting with different flavors for drinks, and she would eventually share these flavors discoveries in the nearby towns that she lived in, and the people loved her for her creations. Always attempting to outdo herself with her experimentations, she set out to find the most delicious flavor ever discovered, and she disappeared forever trying to achieve that dream. She left behind a son, Ganu Yoshida. Ganu was so distraught at the loss of his mother that he abandoned her business and set out to make a name for himself in another career path. Science! Vague, I know. Ganu and his team eventually discovered a deep-sea ingredient that they had never seen. On the night of that discovery, Ganu had a dream that he had become a fish and drank this ingredient. And doing this made him become a giant whale. Ganu realized when he woke up that this very ingredient was the thing that his mother had spent her whole life searching for. And so Slusho was born. It's also noted here that because the ingredient lives in such a sensitive location on the ocean floor where it's extremely cold, this ingredient needs to be kept in a near-frozen state to keep it fresh, which makes perfect sense for it to be used in a slushy-type product. Now at this point, you'll notice that there's nothing really to make any of this an actual ARG, right? There's no element to this that makes this feel like this is taking place in our reality. That's about to change very quickly. The very same day that we got the Slusho website update, we got another update to the 1808 website and a new photo.
Okay.
Okay, but hear me out. One thing you'll notice is that this time the pictures have physical reactions to being pushed around each other. Now, if you take the photo on top and shake it really fast, you end up actually flipping the image over. Not all of them have anything on the backs of them, but the very first image that we got on the website has the message, "Don't forget who takes care of you, love Jay." And on the latest image has a message that reads, Lascano, Platt, and Robbie, January 2008. As well as, Robbie, here, use this photo to send a message of my hotness far and wide. I'm gonna miss the hell out of you. Love, Jamie. This is the first time that we have received full names for any of the characters, so it didn't take long for the internet sleuths to try and look up some variation of the names listed online. Eventually, someone managed to Google search Jamie Lascano, and what did that pull up? MySpace accounts. It does not get more late 2000s than that. It is on that MySpace account that not only do we get to learn a little bit more about Jamie, but we can also see her top 7 friends. If y'all were not there for this era of the internet, let me tell you, friendships were forged and fucking obliterated by who was on your top 7 friends list. It was insane. But here, we can see that her top 7 is filled by everyone's favorite mutual best friend, Tom, as well as Rob Hawkins, our main dude. Jason Hawkins, Rob's brother, Lily Ford, who is Jason's girlfriend, Beth McIntyre, Lily and Rob's friend, Marlena Diamond, who we find out is Jamie's housemate, and finally Rob's best friend, Hudson Platt. We would eventually find out that this is our main cast of characters, and for the next several months we would get to look into the lives of these individuals as they went about their day-to-day lives, and they really went for it with this aspect of the ARG, because there are moments where people are just talking about the most unimportant shit. We get posts where Jason is just talking about sport ball for way too long. HUD is trying to make a comic book, just completely mundane shit, and it absolutely works because they feel like normal people, and we, as viewers, get to learn what they are like. We can kind of get the sense from Rob's profile that he may be interested in Beth. HUD is a complete smooth brain and an absolute nerd, and Jamie is a little too into the movie 300. Like I said, though, a lot of what they talk about with each other is kind of unimportant for the most part, so we'll only go back to this when it's relevant. The next month is essentially pretty silent on the ARG front, as most of the updates are just MySpace posts from each of the characters as we get to learn about them and their interests. On August 31st, however, the 1808 website goes down, and instead the website just redirects to the Paramount Pictures website. And the website never came back after that. I'm just kidding. The very next day, the website returns with no new updates. Must have just went down for maintenance or something. Anyway, moving on August... Oh my god! Yeah, so the new update to the website is if you wait 6 minutes, you hear the Cloverfield monsters roar, and if you don't know that's happening, it's fucking terrifying. You know how I know that? Because it happened to me while I was doing research for this damn project. I had a tab open with the website in the background, forgot about it, and nearly shit myself. It's a fun little Easter egg, and I remember when this happened, everyone was analyzing every little bit of sound wave from the audio file, trying to see if there was some kind of hidden message or anything like that in it. But nope, just a fun little scare for people sitting on the page too long. Moving on to a few days later, on August 31st, Jamie Lascano makes a blog post. Now, unfortunately, I was unable to pull up the blog post itself because there were no records of it saved to the Wayback Machine. This is due to the fact that MySpace has updated their website in such a way that makes it impossible to look at these old blog posts. But, thanks to the Cloverfield Clues blogspot site, we know that she mentions missing someone by the name of Teddy Hansen, and it catches the eye of Marlena. A little over a week later, on September 10th, Jamie leaves a message for Marlena saying, "Hey girl, well that certainly got his attention. Teddy Bear called me each of the last 3 days, and each time we've ended up talking for like 3 hours. I miss the man behind the voice. He says he already watched it 10 times and demanded more. Such a sweet... God damn it, Cody, you absolute freak. Never say that again." Now, based on the context clues here, it seems that Jamie sent her boo thing Teddy some kind of video. Over at Unfiction Forums, a forum page was made dedicated to the Cloverfield ARG. Keep in mind that this stuff predates things like Reddit becoming popular, so blog posts and forum threads were all we had at the time to crack this thing. Some members were deep in the investigation process trying to uncover anything and everything that was unfolding with this whole event. A user by the name of Nenya got an idea to see if they could find some kind of website where that video that Jamie left for Teddy Hansen could be located, and 2 days later, they found it at jamieandteddy.com. Now, if you were to ask me what part I remember most from back when I was taking part in this whole thing in 2007, it is without question this website. This is actually one of the few websites that to this day is still up and running, and you don't need to use the Wayback Machine to navigate. It's a very basic website, as you can see, with a nice little message that Jamie left for Teddy here. And you too can make a website like Jamie thanks to today's sponsor, Squarespace. Squarespace is a... I'm just kidding, I don't have enough subscribers for that. Anyways, when you click on the image here, you're directed to a space to enter a password. Codebreakers managed to find a password, which just so happened to be JLLOVESTH. And here, you will find the aforementioned video Jamie left for Teddy, and here, we learn a couple of things. One, Jamie has no idea how cameras work.
Seriously? How did this stupid thing work?
We also learn that this is where she plans to send all of her videos to Teddy.
Hey babe, it's Jamie, and I just want to let you know that this is probably one of the many video messages you'll be getting from me.
Which lets us know to keep an eye on this site in the future. The bulk of the video is Jamie telling Teddy how much she misses him while he's on his trip, and tells him not to share this on the internet. Jamie, I have some very bad news for you, friend. Jamie then wraps up the video, and we get this excellent piece of knowledge about Jamie.
I'm done! How'd it go? Good, I think. Do you have any more of those cranberry pills? Yeah, why? What's up? I'm getting another bladder infection.
Riveting information there, I know. Moving on to September 29th, we have a new photo over at 11808, and this man has made one of the dishes of all time. Thankfully, we don't need to know what's on the front, we need to know what's on the back. And sadly, it's all written in Japanese. Lucky for you at home, this all happened 16 years ago, so it's already been translated. Now strap in, because we are about to go down a weird rabbit hole here. The info on the back is essentially a recipe sheet for a dish that is on the photo. Now, absolutely none of it matters except for the fact that the last ingredient is called Kaite no Mitsu, which translates to deep sea nectar. That sound like anything in particular we've talked about so far? Someone over at Unfiction by the name of Dr. Awkward Google searched the ingredient, and it led to a review written by a Vernon McDouble for a restaurant called Garbanzos. Shit is so weird, dude. Oh my god. If you've got enough time, I highly recommend you read it. It is weird as fuck. Here's a small snippet. The first course caught me off guard. A rice salad, surely not Garbanzo's typical fare. Apparently nothing worth the fuss. I frowned under my impeccable mustache. Curiosity and my trust in Chef Nakamura got the best of me, and I took a bite. As I chewed, my mind drifted to the African plains during the wet season. Eventually, after waking up from his PTSD flashback, he eventually tries a dish that is so damn delicious that he has to know where it came from. He speaks to the chef, and the chef lets him know that the recipe was sent to him by his brother, who works in Tokyo, and one of the ingredients is the seabed's nectar that's shipped in dry ice by a Japanese company by the name Tagruato. It wasn't long before someone decided to search for Tagruato online and discovered tagruato.jp. Here, we can see this website belongs to some deep-sea drilling company headed by none other than Ganu Yoshida, the very same Ganu who discovered the seabed nectar. We can also see some tabs at the top, including a section for company subsidiaries. Listed, we have, of course, Slusho, Yoshida Medical Research, a research firm dedicated to implementing technologies for medical purposes derived from discoveries in deep-sea ecosystems, Bold Futura, a contract sector of the company that designs and manufactures high-quality technologies for military organizations and space exploration institutions, and finally, Parafun Wax Distributions, a wax distributor. That's it, they just make wax, I don't know what to tell you. There is also a tab for deep-sea drilling that showcases Tagruato's reach across the world, as they have numerous drilling sites dedicated to the extraction of petroleum. Included on this page is a chart showing all of their drilling sites. One of them in particular, Chuai Station, is slated to open in September of 2007. Looking kinda close to New York there too. Last but not least is their contact page with an actual phone number listed. Now you know people started trying to dial that number. Unfortunately though, we're only met with a voicemail that reads,
"Thank you for calling Tagruato. Due to high call volume, your call has been transferred to our automated answering service. There are no updates at this time. After the tone, please leave a message and one of our associates will find you as soon as possible."
As with all of these websites, we'll check this one periodically as time goes on, but for now, that's about all we need to know. On October 4th, my birthday, we got another vlog over at jamieandteddy.com. Jamie, what the fuck? After sending us into shell shock with her tremendous harmonica skills, Jamie goes on to talk about how she's going to a girls' night and how much she misses him. It all kind of seems like it's going to be more of Jamie's first video, until she mentions this.
Could you really F me up with this gift? You cannot, thank you by the way, but you cannot send a girl a gift and tell her to open it on December 9th, which is forever away. You just can't do that.
Let me tell y'all something. I was in middle school when this video aired, okay? Do you realize how long 2 months feels to a 15-year-old child? The wait to find out what this gift was unbearable. But for now, like my middle school self, you'll have to wait, because Jamie swears to not open the gift until that date. Arching forward to October 13th, we get a quick little update on the Slusho website. Slusho is hiring. That's right, Slusho is looking to spread their product westward, and you can help be a part of it. And at the very bottom of the ad is that very same phone number from the Tagruato page, as well as a watermark for the Tagruato Corporation, thus cementing the Tagruato webpage as in-game. That's another thing I should mention, by the way. A lot of times when you're going through these ARGs, there's a lot of uncertainty involved with discoveries, and if an ARG is popular enough, sometimes people would make fake fan websites, pretending to be tied to the ARGs you would be participating in, or sometimes other ARGs would be mistaken to be tied into this one. Real ones will remember the Ethan Hawes was right confusion. Little nods like this are a good way to get people talking about these things to confirm that their discoveries that they're finding are actually part of the whole experience. Alright, so on October 18th, we get our third Jamie and Teddy video. Maybe it's nostalgia talking here, but I just love these videos so much. So let's see what's on the third one.
Hey, it's me. It's really early in the morning, and I just wanted to catch you before you started your day, but I had to explain last night, if it's not too late. I ran into your skanky ex-girlfriend, and she basically threatened me and said that she was going to tell you that I was making out with guys on the dance floor, which is 100% not true.
Yeah, so apparently Jamie's girls' night out might have been a little too fun, as she very poorly hides the fact that she may have been getting too cozy with someone at the party. It's becoming apparent that Jamie is starting to really feel the weight of being in a long-distance relationship while her boyfriend is off saving the world, as she puts it. We're still not entirely sure what exactly Teddy does, but whatever it is sounds pretty important. November 12th rolls around, and we have our 4th Jamie video. Now listen, hear me out. I know I've been hyping these videos up, and it's been mostly a whole lot of nothing, but I'm telling you, this next video, peak. I don't know about you guys right now, but I am rock flaccid. After Jamie's sensational dance routine, she desperately requests that Teddy call her because she hasn't heard from him in a while due to the cause. Now, she doesn't just say the cause once or even twice, but 3 times here, really driving home that whatever Teddy does is going to have some sort of importance to this ARG. On November 22nd, the Tagruato website receives an update to its news section titled, "To Investors Concerning the RRC Article." The article states, quote, "Tagruato is aware that many of you are shocked and angered over the recent article by the Reveal Research Center. The Slusho Board of Directors would like to assure you that the article's claims are completely false and that there is no seabed's nectar available outside their contained factories." A little googly-moogly Reveal Research Center leads to a forum post where a user shares an article about some findings regarding some concerns over Slusho's main ingredient, the seabed nectar. The article explains that in some tests run with a small sample of the ingredient, subjects showed signs of accelerated cell growth, increased strength, increased soft muscle tissue growth, sharper eyesight, better digestion, smoother skin, and a full-body, pleasant sensation that one of their researchers actually described as a wave of pure happiness. Sounds pretty good to me.
I'll take your entire stock!
So let's briefly recap everything that's occurred so far. We've got the 11808.com website full of some photos sharing images of our main cast of people, Rob and Jason Hawkins, Hudson Platt, Lily Ford, Jamie Lascano, Marlena Diamond, and Beth McIntyre, all of which have MySpace pages that you can fully explore. We've got Slusho, a slushy company making drinks using an undersea ingredient that's basically nature's Molly. We have some vlogs made by a lovesick Jamie who is wanting her boyfriend Teddy Hansen to return from the cause, whatever that is, along with her gift from him that she can't open until December 9th. And last but not least, a website for the deep sea drilling organization and parent company to Slusho and its other subsidiaries, Tagruato. What the fuck is that?
You want the numbers, Mason. That's all we've ever wanted.
On November 24th, viewers found the Tagruato website completely taken over and given a makeover with the site title now saying, "Tagruato is destroying our oceans," and only a photo showing our Lord and Savior Ganu having been completely defaced. We see Ganu rocking some sweet devil horns and surrounded by some sea creatures, but hold on. Can we zoom in on that crab there? Okay, let's zoom in tighter. Huh. Any way we can enhance this?
Maybe we can use the Pradeep Sen method to see into the windows. He's taken illumination algorithms to the next level, and I can use them to enhance this photograph.
Aha! Look at that! A Roman numeral on the crab. Let's see if the other creatures have one. Oh yeah, it's all coming together. We have the numbers 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5, each creature as well as the wave here. But what could it mean?
The numbers, Mason. What do they mean?
This puzzle, believe it or not, was the only time that participants ever got stumped by any of the clues. While they had determined that each figure represented a tanner crab, an irukandji jellyfish, a Dumbo octopus, an ogrefish, and wave respectively, no one could really make heads or tails of what it all meant, and 2 days later, the hack was removed and replaced with an image and message that roughly translates to "currently under construction," before shortly being completely recovered and the website returning to normal as if the incident never occurred. Things proceed to move right along for a little while, as on November 27th, the Tagarado website has updated its Investors tab to announce that, in partnership with its subsidiary Bold Futura, Tagarado has successfully launched its first satellite named Hatsui. It becomes apparent here that Tagarado is interested not only in what's below sea level, but also what's way above. This is a bit of information that will not come into play for quite a while, so just keep that in the back of your brain for now. By now, you've probably realized this ARG consists of lots of very different bits of information spread out everywhere that, as time goes on, will slowly start converging. I feel like I'm starting to become that Always Sunny meme trying to explain all of this, but I hope you're not completely lost. So, are y'all still with me? No? Perfect. Let's move on then.
Okay, what's the Always Sunny meme?
Oh, the Pepe Silva thing where he's like, Carol! Carol! You never seen that? The next day, the hacker strikes again. Tagarado JP is taken over and is exactly how it looked from the last time, devil horns and all. This time, it's hacked and brought back the same day, but this was a clear indicator that something was being overlooked regarding the site takeover. The answer to this would eventually be discovered a few days later, but before we get to that, something else started happening to participants of the ARG. Someone started making direct contact. Okay, remember a while back when I was like, you could buy merch on the Slush Show website, and I told you there was going to be a reason why I brought that up? Well, on November 30th, people who had purchased merch started receiving ripped memos from Tagarado that were stamped as top secret regarding some kind of incident that occurred at Chuai Station, the very same station that had just been created and was closest to New York. In addition to this memo was an actual handwritten note on the back that states, American, the Chuai Station hides a dark secret. Good people are going missing. Expect further communication in the near future. The whistleblower. Several people received this memo along with the message that was legitimately handwritten. As you can see here, the writing has imperfections on each one that make it feel all the more personalized. And if I could just geek out for a moment, I think shit like this is so cool and I'd give anything to have one of these. Just a really cool way to include the audience and an awesome memento for those who took part in this. We now have reached the month of December. The movie releases in a little over a month now, and that December 9th gift reveal is fast approaching, but we have just a few more events that occur before then. On December 1st, the Tagarado phone number now has an updated voicemail message that reads,
Thank you for calling Tagarado. All of our lines are currently busy. If you are calling regarding the Katsui Ichigawa Memorial Service, all seats have been filled, and the registration is now closed. For all other concerns, please leave a message, and one of our representatives will find you as soon as possible.
This mysterious update to the voicemail led ARG goers to suspect that there was a piece to the puzzle that was missing. Something that they hadn't quite figured out yet.
The numbers! What?
Yes, if you recall, we still haven't figured out that strange Roman numerals puzzle. However, on December 2nd, that would all change. User Ellis over at Unfiction Forums realized that if you take the first letter of each creature and put them in number order, you get Taito. That, combined with the fifth one, which was the wave, led them to finally discover our final website, TaitoWave.com. The website briefly mimics the opening window of the Tagarado website before the hands around the world become corrupted and bleed the life out of the earth. Following this screen, we are welcomed by what appears to be a blog site dedicated to an activist group called, excuse my poorly spoken French, Le Guerrier de Merter, or the Warriors of Mother Earth, that was founded in 1982 in Paris by Le Bandit Vert. I won't delve super deep into the details here, but they are very anti-Tagarado, as they do not approve of their deep-sea petroleum excavation practices and are bent on making sure that they put an end to Tagarado's harming of the Earth. As Le Bandit put it best, they are the wave, rising tall to crash over them and wash away the filth. The whole website, though, is just a standard blog post website with this cute little corkboard-looking section called the Cruelton board that has fun facts about Tagarado. For instance, in 1961, when the company tried to buy out a small family-owned mining outfit in Honshu, Japan, the owner refused and ended up dead the next day. That's fun fact number 42, of course. Now listen, I know we're about to get to that December 9th video, and I know I've been hyping it up. There's one more thing that happened before December 9th that absolutely has to be talked about. On December 5th, Slusho announces that they have begun a contest for people to create a commercial for the Slushy product where winners would receive an Alienware laptop valued at $3,000. The next day, Slusho releases their own commercial for the product, and look, I know I mentioned a while back that the Jamie and Teddy website was the best thing I remember about this ARG, but I lied because I didn't want to spoil this. This is without hesitation the thing that I think of when I remember this whole event. I'm going to play it in its entirety. It's only a minute long and it truly has to be seen to be believed. Yeah, a lot to unpack there, I know. I must have watched this commercial a good 50 times before I even grew remotely tired of it. I mean, the song is catchy, it's got that perfect quirkiness that only Japanese media can capture, and we even get little nods to theories regarding the drink, like, for example, whoever drinking it becoming overwhelmed with joy and increased strength, just like that article mentioned. Okay, everyone. I've rambled on now for a good
36 minutes.
It's December 9th, 2007, and there ain't nothing to it but to do it. It's time to see what's in that gift box. So if you recall, it's been about a month since Teddy had last reached out to Jamie, and she's pretty pissed about it at this point.
Today's December 9th, and I'm going to open your gift. I wanted to do it on the phone with you, but you haven't called or responded to any of my text messages. Pretty much completely disappeared from my life.
The contents of the box start off innocently enough with a Slusho ball cap that she clearly loves.
Thanks for the hat.
But then, this happens.
Primary evidence. Freeze ASAP. Jamie, don't eat this.
Teddy appears to have sent Jamie a sample of the seabed nectar, and along with it, a very chilling message from Teddy himself. So now we know why Teddy hasn't been speaking with Jamie. Teddy's reasoning for investigating Tagruato is unclear, but if you've been paying attention, you could probably take an educated guess at who Teddy is working for. Jamie, however, doesn't exactly take this news well.
Oh my god. Oh my god. You know, Teddy, if you were seeing someone else, all you had to do was tell me. Like a man. You know, I'm not playing games anymore. You're a prick, and I am done.
I'm sure she'll come to her senses soon, though, and definitely do what Teddy asked. Our suspicions about who Teddy works for become revealed the next day, as viewers realize that the last two most recent blog posts at the Tidal Wave website were each posted by none other than Randy, who we can only assume is the same Randy that Teddy mentions in the taped message to Jamie. Along with that puzzle piece being discovered, 3 blog posts are added to the page the very same day, with one in particular being a little more eye-catching. Titled Call to Action, the post refers to some sort of event that fell through that they're going to give another go on the 14th of the month and to contact Randy for updated information. Between Teddy's message and this blog post, it sounds like Taito is planning to take some kind of action against Tagruato, with Randy leading the group. Much to people's disappointment, however, the 14th is radio silent with no updates. However, on the 18th, our whistleblower returns with a new letter sent via email to the person who runs the Cloverfield Clues blogspot site. The whistleblower sends a PDF file with a handwritten message, "Americans, no oil here. They must have known before they built. Signed, the whistleblower." Along with this message is an official Tagruato document written in Japanese. Thankfully, Unfiction user Cosmopol was able to translate the document, and it's revealed that it's Tagruato's third quarter earnings from their various drilling stations. And coincidentally, Chwai Station, the very same station built near New York's border, is suspiciously absent from the document. If what the whistleblower said in the document is true, Tagruato never built Chwai Station to be a means of farming petroleum. They were there for something else entirely. Just a few hours later, we finally get an update to Tidal Wave's event plans, and it didn't exactly go well, it sounds like. The message is short and implies that Randy may have run into some trouble himself. Details are pretty scarce here for the time being, but whatever occurred definitely isn't good. While I'm sure you're invested in the aftermath of what happened with Taito's event plans, we have to move on to more important things for now. Like the people who are actually in the movie? Yeah, remember that? With all this talk of corporate espionage and environmental activist movements, I wouldn't blame you for forgetting that this ARG also involves the main cast of the film as well. See, while all of this has been going on the past few months, these characters have been interacting with each other on MySpace. While I'm sure you'd love me to take a 10-minute deep dive into Jason's NFL fantasy football team, I want to actually focus on our film's main protagonist, Rob, because he's been going through it. Yeah, so I mentioned this briefly a while back, but it's alluded to here through his MySpace conversations that he kind of has a thing for Beth McIntyre, and she's kind of given him the runaround, much to Rob's frustration. However, things come to a head for Rob as he's had enough with being disregarded by Beth, and on December 17th, he makes a post expressing his plans to find work outside of New York if he has to, and he's become tired of being disregarded by certain elements. Rob was out here subtweeting before subtweeting was a thing. His friends all respond to him with varying degrees of understanding, from Lily making sure he's doing this for the right reasons to his brother's loving message of, "Geez, someone needs to get laid." Most notably, though, Beth herself comments to Rob to call her to talk about it. After all, they're friends, right? Yeah, Beth, that's probably the worst thing you could have said at the moment. The one person we don't actually hear from is Jamie, who, when we last left her, was not handling the update from Teddy well. But it's been a couple of weeks since then. I'm sure Jamie has had time to calm down, right? So, on December 26th, we actually get a new Jamie and Teddy video.
Hey, prick.
Yeah, she's not handling this very well. In an effort to call bullshit on Teddy's message and out him for leaving her for someone else, Jamie finds the contact info for Tagruato to prove that he made it up and calls them.
Hi, can I speak to Teddy Hansen? Can I speak to someone that speaks American?
Thinking she's proven her point when they don't know of anyone named Teddy, Jamie hangs up the number after they press her for her address.
I'm so sick of your games. This is the last video you're getting from me. I'm officially done. Unknown number? Hello? I don't speak whatever.
Okay, Jamie's kind of racist. Let's move on here, huh? On December 29th, our whistleblower strikes again. This time, sending emails to various users containing screenshots from a Tagruato computer screen dated for the 18th of December. The radar images don't create a clear picture at what it's looking at, but whatever this is was sighted the very same day that Taito's event failed. So here we are! We have finally made it to January. Cloverfield is set to release this month, and that means that our ARG journey will be coming to a close soon. We're not done yet, though, so strap in, because to our surprise, on January 2nd, even though she swore she was done making them, Jamie releases a 7th video for Teddy.
Okay. Okay, I figured it all out. You suck.
Holy shit. The acting, though, is killing me. This is, like, up there with that scene of drunk Nancy Wheeler in Stranger Things. Y'all remember that?
Like, it's great. Like, we're in love and we're partying. Yeah, let's party, huh? We're partying.
Yeah, honestly, nothing really substantial here. Just Jamie handling the loss of her boyfriend in a very unhealthy way. January 3rd, however, we start learning about some serious shit. Over on the Tagruato website, we get a news headline regarding an altercation at Chwai Station. It's worth mentioning here that while Tagruato keeps pretty hush-hush about the details of this, they do state that they suspect that an eco-terror cell is responsible for the disturbance. Damn, I can't think of any group that would be responsible for that. Jokes aside, you could probably assume here at this point that our favorite eco-terrorist cell, Taito, was not only involved in what occurred at Chwai Station, but that this must be related to their event and its eventual failure. This also means that this is where Teddy and Randy were as well. We're finally starting to see all of these threads converging here in this crazy web. We also get another piece of news from the Tagruato website. Y'all remember that satellite that Tagruato launched with bold Futura named Hatsui? Well, it's doing well, and it's being used to track a fragment that is believed to have broken off of the Japanese government's satellite dubbed Chimpanzee. While they have not found that fragment, it was last seen heading towards the Atlantic Ocean. Lots of stuff happening over in the Atlantic Ocean as of late. I'm sure it's all just a weird coincidence. Anyways, onwards to the next date. On January 5th, we get an update from Rob over on his MySpace. He got a job! Vice President of Marketing and Promotions for none other than Slusho. How this man managed to get an overseas vice president position for a major corporation in less than a month's time, when I can't even get a job at a goddamn Trader Joe's after 3 interviews and 2 months of waiting, is beyond me, but sure, good for fucking you, Rob. I'm not salty at all. But now we know why Rob's brother Jason is shown wearing that Slusho shirt all those months ago when the trailer premiered. All of Rob's friends and family chime in to share their thoughts on the news, Beth in particular asking Rob to come over this weekend to talk about it. We also get an update from Taito on the same date, and it's not very good. It seems from the headline that Tagruato has infiltrated Taito's main headquarters known as the farm. This post reveals to us the fact that whatever happened at Chwai Station resulted in not only casualties, but also the taking down of Chwai Station itself. Taito, from what we've seen, isn't a violent activist group, and they also deny the responsibility of these casualties here. So what the fuck happened at Chwai Station? Wouldn't the loss of an entire petroleum mining rig as well as the deaths of several members on the rig be documented by several media outlets? This is the part in the video where I cut to.
The incident is being coined an environmental disaster and a matter of life and death for almost 300 individuals aboard the large deep-sea drilling platform. It went down days ago, and only now are we beginning to learn details regarding the oil rig collapse and what may have caused such a devastating accident. This dramatic home video captured by eyewitnesses on the scene shows a large oil rig in the middle of the Atlantic Ocean suddenly sinking under violent and unexplained circumstances. The destruction of the Chwai drilling station happening dangerously close to the coast of Connecticut, sending hundreds of workers scrambling for help as a large oil rig collapsed. Oil is possibly seeping from the big rig into the sea. The dark shape below the surface appears to be an oil spill that could easily mean a nightmare for the shoreline of Connecticut. A press release from Tagruato states that an extremist group Tidal Wave may be behind the incident, so it's unknown whether the Chwai drilling station was actually attacked by members of Wave. The final extraordinary clip clearly shows the sheer speed and power of the sinking vessel. It appears that the oil rig is being sucked down at a dramatic rate, but what caused the shower of debris that followed remains a matter for intense speculation.
Yeah, Miss Ma'am, I'm pretty sure oil spills don't launch projectiles out into the air. Matter of fact, we know from our whistleblower friend that oil doesn't even exist at Chwai Station. Whoever our Lady Liberty vandalizer is, it lives in the ocean, and Tagruato just pissed it off. It turns out that this incident occurred back on the 27th of December, and tried as they might to keep the incident hidden from media outlets, it eventually got out. What we can also gather from this is that while Taito was there at Chwai Station, they simply happened to be in the wrong place at the wrong time when this mystery creature attacked the station. The US isn't the only country to cover this event either. News sources from Russia, Spain, France, Germany, Italy, and Japan cover the incident, with the latter mentioning something regarding a Norwegian tanker that never arrived at its New York destination. This little tidbit of information is rather odd, as none of the other news outlets make any mention of this tanker. The next day, we get another video post from Jamie. So remember that seabed nectar Teddy gave Jamie with explicit instructions saying not to eat?
Don't eat this, Jamie. But I'm hungry.
Jamie, you are fucking killing me right now. I am convinced at this point that Jamie would stare directly into the fucking solar eclipse if she was told not to. Anyway, she takes a bite and has an interesting reaction to it.
It tastes pretty good. Whoa. What is this stuff that you sent me? I feel great. I'm gonna go outside.
Yeah, I'm sure no consequences are going to come from that. On top of that update, we also get an update to the long-forgotten 11808 website. It turns out just to be an image from the boat leaving the Chwai station just before the catastrophe struck. There's nothing on the back of the photo either, but this does let us know that the 11808 website isn't done with updates just yet. 2 days later, on January 9th, we get yet another Jamie video.
Of all the millions of ways for me to show you how much I hate you, the only way is through my hate dance.
Yeah, this goes on for about a minute, and I'll leave the link in the description if you want to see the whole thing, but that nectar is definitely not out of Jamie's system. We're not sure if that one taste she had in the previous video is that potent, or if she's continuing to eat the sample that Teddy gave, but it's definitely amplifying her emotions on an insane level. With the movie release on the horizon, each day seems to be double stacked with updates, as we also see an official message from Ganu Yoshida himself on the Tagruato site, discussing his thoughts about the events that occurred about Chwai Station. And in proper CEO fashion, he denies all responsibility for it, blaming Taito for the incident that occurred there, stating they released a series of explosions at the facility.
Sure, Jan.
Ganu continues on to state that he won't let this incident stop him from his goals. You know, simple goals like exploring the magic of our world and controlling the future of us all. Jesus, maybe Taito was right to draw those devil horns on Ganu, huh? Anyway, onwards to the next day, January 10th brings us news that Kaite no Mitsu, aka the seabed nectar, has been approved by the American Food Association for distribution in the US. Along with this news is information that Tagruato has been putting together a Western distribution team for Slusho, which would explain Rob's recent hiring for VP of Marketing. The next 3 days are more or less fairly silent, with the only thing worth mentioning is an update from Taito on the 12th stating that they are laying low for now after the Chwai Station incident and are very upset over the announcement of the nectar being approved for US distribution. January 14th rolls around, however, with a double news day as we first get yet another Jamie video, and it's a minute and 23 seconds of a silent mascara-streaked Jamie taking a pair of scissors to her teddy bear that we see on the login page of the website. Someone please do a wellness check on Jamie. Like I mentioned before, it's a double news day as the 11808 site is updated with another photo. It appears to be another image of destruction, but this time it's not an image of Chwai Station. While we never get an exact confirmation of this, it's highly believed that this is an image of the aforementioned Norwegian tanker that had lost contact on its way to New York, with something suspiciously censored just underneath the surface of the water. It's also worth noting that we see a couple of helicopters near the corner of the image, suggesting that there is some military presence involved with this incident. Our mystery monster is very much awake at this point. It is now January 15th, just 3 days before the premiere of Cloverfield. 3 days! We have yet another photo on the 11808 page. This time, a night vision photo of some military group bombing the absolute shit out of this body of water. Again, while it's not confirmed, it's highly theorized that this image takes place shortly before the previous photo, meaning the military is very aware of this creature's existence before the subsequent invasion in New York. We also receive word that Ganu Yoshida himself has stepped foot on American soil as he is visiting New York to distribute Slusho through pre-established public waterways. Sounds like it's only a matter of time before we're all doing the hate dance. The next day, we get a small update as 11808 uploads yet another image. This time, a lone boatman in the middle of what appears to be the aftermath of an encounter with Moses, with the ocean streaked red with blood. Perhaps this was taken after the military strike, but it's hard to say for sure. The only other thing to mention about this date is it actually sees the release of the official Cloverfield manga. And I know what you're thinking. They made a manga for this? NANI? Yeah, it's actually a 4-part web series that released from January to May of 2008. I debated whether or not I should actually talk about it in depth for this video, but ultimately decided against it as it's technically not canon to the films. However, it does involve major ARG elements from Cloverfield like Tagruato and their involvement with the creature, and it's actually a pretty interesting read. I'll definitely talk about it at some point in another video. On the eve of the release of the film, we get our final message from Taito on their blog site. Quote, "Horns down. If we go quiet, it won't be permanent. May the Great Mother protect her servants in their greatest time of need. She guides our hands." Well, that's not cryptic and ominous at all. It wouldn't take long for it to be revealed what Taito meant by that, because on January 18th, the day of the film's release, the Tagruato webpage updates with news that there was an attempted attack on Ganu himself by members of Taito, trying to hold down his hands and pour some mystery liquid on him. Ganu manages to fight the attackers off, and they eventually flee. Ganu is a gigachad, as he appears to be completely unbothered by the altercation, stating, "I should really thank the criminals. Because of them, I had to postpone a meeting. Now I can extend my stay in New York. I look forward to seeing more of this wonderful city." Wow, what a legend. Ganu, I highly recommend you check out the Statue of Liberty while you're there. It looks absolutely stunning at night. Just a sight to behold. It'll really make your head roll. Oh, piss off. This is my video. I can make all the shitty jokes I want. Shitty jokes aside, this day is packed with events for the ARG, as we also get another photo added to the 11808 website, with our mystery creature having himself a little snack before his main course in New York tonight. We also see an update to the Taito website, however, it's not with a new post. It's been completely shut down by the Internal Affairs Department. As you can see here by this watermark, it appears that Taito's blog has been discovered and locked down, and is believed to have been due to the Tri-Station incident. Strangely enough, though, that's not the only site that's down, as the Tagruato's website is down as well, and visitors are met with this image that roughly translates to regular maintenance. We also get a new set of MySpace posts from all of our main leads, as HUD tries to convince Rob to come out tonight to hang out, and everyone seems to be getting ready for some kind of event that night, including our dear Jamie, who is very clearly over Teddy at this point. You know, I wonder if that nectar finally got out of her system. Oh, y'all know where I'm going with this. Let's roll our very last Jamie and Teddy video.
I'm over you. I'm finally over you. And you know what? I feel like a whole new woman. And it's
Jamie,
like
whoa.
the first night of the rest of my life. And
Slow down.
Lily's putting this thing together. And I'm going to go to it.
Jamie,
and I don't know.
I
I just feel so like I'm like the happiest.
Slow the fuck
happiest
down.
I've ever been in my whole life. And I don't know. I have like all this massive amounts of energy. And we have massive amounts of sex with Snyder. And it's just going to be great. And I just think you should say goodbye to these guys. Because you're never going to see them again. And say goodbye. I think you're pathetic.
Holy shit, what was that? Our favorite vlogger is still clearly off the shits from the effects of the seedbed nectar. I don't know how long that's gonna last, but that come down is gonna be fucking horde. Oh boy! We have made it. That is the entire ARG broken down for the film. Lots of plot threads and hate dances galore. But now that we've done that, the question that now has to be asked is, how does all of that fit into the film itself? Where does Tagruato fit into this? What was that random news update about the chimpanzee satellite fragment about? What I'd like to do now is to go through the film and show you all the little details that you might not have noticed when you watched it that allude to the ARG. While this won't be an entire breakdown of the film, I think it's important to show you just how these puzzle pieces fit into the movie. So let's dive in. So before we get into this, I do want to address the small elephant in the room. Throughout the film, we see a couple of timestamps for when the film is supposed to take place. One is from April 27th, and the other is May 22nd. J.J. Abrams, as well as a few other crew members who worked on the film, have said quite a few statements that contradict with the timing and canon of the events of things that don't quite make sense for when the ARG took place. For example, if all the main characters were cited as getting ready for this party on MySpace on January 18th, why would the timestamp in the film say May 22nd? The easiest explanation is that you can't actually backdate MySpace posts, so they would have no choice but to date things for when they are posted, and that goes for the rest of these websites. So, for the sake of lack of confusion, just assume that January 18th is actually May 22nd, and December is actually April. We start the movie with the reveal that the footage we are about to watch has been collected by the US government, and JJ, don't think I didn't see that Dharma logo. I've had 16 years to watch this shit. That has got to be the world record for fastest time to show an Easter egg in a movie. That is insane. Next, near the start of the movie, we have a bedroom scene between Rob and Beth, and it's my understanding, based on the interactions between these characters, that this is that weekend that Beth tells Rob to come over to discuss his moving to Japan. Why do I think this? Well, this would fall into that 3 weeks estimation that Rob gave in his post, and also, if you check a calendar for April 27th, 2008, that's a Sunday, which would make it the weekend, making it fit perfectly into the ARG. Next up, HUD is going around filming testimonials for Rob's friends and family when Rob's brother Jason says this.
Rob, I don't even know what to say, bro. Best of luck in Japan. I love you so much.
We now know that Rob is going to Japan because he got that vice president position working for Slusho. Oh, hey, it's beautiful, girls. Look at that. We've come full circle. Anyways, eventually our main dude, Rob, arrives to the party. The drinks are flowing. People are having a good time. Jamie's passed out on the couch. And wait, what the fuck? Son of a bitch, it's Jamie fucking Lascano, who's completely conked at the party. Looks like that seabed nectar finally wore off. I remember completely freaking out in the theater when this part came up, and my friend looked at me like I was crazy. I was like, no, dude, there's a whole backstory about this lady. He just kept staring at me like I was insane. This is just a perfect example of a nod for people who took part in the ARG. Just really great stuff. Moving right along, Beth finally shows up to Rob's surprise party with a fucking date, and I really need to get this off my chest. If I had any complaints about this movie, it would unequivocally be the romance between Rob and Beth. Rob spends forever wanting to be with Beth. Beth gives him the runaround for whatever reason. Then Rob says, fuck it, I don't need this, I'm going to Japan. And then Beth does a complete 180 and is like, oh shit, Rob, that's so far. You should come over so we can talk. They finally get together, which is what Rob wanted this whole time. And then he does a complete 180 and they just don't talk to Beth for like 3 weeks after they slept together. What the fuck are y'all doing? Yeah, it's nice that he spends 2 acts of the film trying to rescue her, but goddamn, do y'all like each other or not? We are now going to fast forward to when shit's hitting the fan. Lady Liberty has already hit the streets, and the gang is now attempting to cross the bridge to evacuate when we come across this. In a blink and you'll miss it moment, we saw that a Tagruato ship has capsized across from the bridge, most likely destroyed by the monster lurking around New York. We got a little glimpse of this originally while the partygoers were watching the news broadcast, but we get an even better look at it here. Moments later, while trying to find a battery for Rob's phone to make contact with Beth, who left the party early, HUD captures some live news coverage when they learn something very terrifying about the monster that's invaded.
There appears to be something coming off of it. Yes. The ground seems to be covered. It looks like there's something falling off of it, doesn't it? Organic in nature. Or... we just don't know. Oh my God! We're getting reports that the debris.
Oh shit! These fuckers gave me nightmares as a child. Going into this movie, many people anticipated that they were in for a found footage movie about a kaiju invading Manhattan. What we did not know is that this fucker was going to be bringing a couple thousand dog-sized friends. These little critters are referred to as parasites, and they appear to have a symbiotic relationship with our Cloverfield monster. Something you may not know about these things, though, unless you own the Blu-ray version of the film, is that these parasites contain in their bloodstream and saliva highly concentrated amounts of Kaite no Mitsu, aka the seabed nectar. It's theorized that the concentrated effects of the seabed nectar are amplified and accelerated when put in contact with water. Given the fact that humans consist of 60% water, it results in some less than pleasurable results, like what happens to poor Marlena, who's bitten by one of them halfway through the film. Fast forward to the last scene of the film that flashes back to Rob and Beth's date at Coney Island. If you look closely, you can see something in the distance as they overlook the Atlantic Ocean. There, we see that lost chimpanzee fragment that Tagruato was searching for. This also coincides with the time frame that the satellite piece went missing and when Rob got offered the Slusho job. Honestly, a wonderful final nod to everyone that took part in the ARG. Once the credits roll, we get to listen to the legendary Michael Giacchino's official Cloverfield overture titled Roar. It's the only song composed for the entire film, and I highly recommend you check it out because it fucking slaps. As much as I'd like to talk more about that, I mentioned the credits because we actually get one last little nugget of Easter eggs here. Sounds like Help Us, right? Believe it or not, if you reverse the message, you actually hear this instead. An absolutely chilling message that lets us know that the bombs dropped at the end of the film were all for nothing, as the monster is still roaming around. Well, there you have it, ladies and gents, the entirety of the Cloverfield ARG, where it all fits into the film itself. I gotta say, this is a project I've been wanting to make for a long-ass time. I've seen a lot of impressive videos about this topic, but a lot of them don't really go that deep into everything, and I wanted this to be as comprehensive as possible.
Then why haven't you talked about what happened after?
Sorry, what?
Why haven't you talked about what happened after the movie was released?
Yeah, I should probably talk about that, huh? See, believe it or not, after Cloverfield released in theaters, the ARG didn't just stop. More images, updates, and secrets were revealed all the way up to the month of May. But I'm going to save all of that for a part 2. I'm going to make a deal with you guys. If this video can get just 300 views, I will make a part 2 video that talks about not only the ARG events that occurred after Cloverfield released, but I will also break down the ARGs for its sequel 10 Cloverfield Lane and, yes, Cloverfield Paradox. Thank you so much for watching this. I've never made any kind of video like this before, and it was truly a labor of love. A huge shout out to the Cloverfield Clues blog for doing an excellent job of documenting the ARG as it occurred, because it made a huge help when doing research for this, especially those old MySpace blogs that you actually can't view anymore. And also a shout out to those people over at Unfiction Forums all those years ago who spent days upon days working together to unravel the mystery of what this whole thing was. It was truly one of the most memorable things about my childhood, and I have you folks to thank for it. So again, thanks for watching this, and I'll see you in the next one.